Hi, and welcome back to Dirty Brain's Garage. Today we're going to be playing around with this little, I'm calling this mower a 2018. It's a Troy Bilt XP series. It's got a 7 3/4 horse, not horse, torque engine to it. It's kind of like the E series, just a little bit bigger and everything. Um, the model number on this mower is screwed up. My apologies. The Everything's listing this mower as a 2008. I don't think this mower is a 2008, but we're not going to get into all that. I did find the right parts that I needed for it and everything. But what's going on here? This mower actually belongs to my buddy Nick, and Nick's got one problem. Nick's problem is he works so much, he doesn't have a way to spend his money, and I need to help him with that. So he brought this mower up here broken, and he said he goes, just fix it, give me the bill, I don't care, and everything. Well, so I need to help him there. So one of my things that I've always wanted to do, I want to go on one of those cruise ships, all right, where you just float around for a week, sit on deck, drink beer, look at bikinis and islands and stuff like that. So I think by the time I'm done doing this job, I should be able to afford that, and Nick can go and cut his lawn and everything, and everybody's gonna be happy. Just kidding, Nick. Anyway, first thing you're gonna notice, if you look at the front of this mower, you're gonna see that wheel raised right up. We got something going on with the axle here. I did find a part and everything, which we're gonna get into in a minute. We're gonna do that. I got an oil leak going on, and of course, I'm going to be sharpening the blade, changing the oil, and all that nonsense too. But anyway, for right now, if you want to give me a minute, we're going to get this mower up on its side, and we're going to tackle this axle problem. I'm going to show you what's up with it. Personally, I've never done one of these before, so it's not, it's something that I feel is worth taping, and maybe this will help somebody else out too. So just give me a few minutes here. We're going to get this thing up on its side and tackle that to begin with. All right, guys, so we got this mower up on its side right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull this wheel off of here before I bring you in here. And that way I can actually show you a little bit better what's going on. But get that out of the way. Yeah, 9/16. There we go. That's easy enough. Set that right there. Alright. So let's go ahead and bring you in here, and I'm going to show you exactly what's going on. Because this is kind of silly. So, our axle, as you can see, is kind of flopping around in there. Now what you want to notice, you got your regular slot here. Up at the top, we got a hex shaped head where the axle where it would actually go in, and we're missing a part is what's going on. And a second here. So they actually call this thing a collar. Right here. It basically looks like a nut almost, but it's just plastic. All right. This is gonna be MTD 741 04136. That's what's gonna hold this axle in place. Now, it's kind of hard to see, and I realize this. You're gonna see a little plastic piece here, and that actually holds that nut in place. So we're gonna pop that out of there, which that actually, a couple fingers, or that'll get that out of there, no problem whatsoever. Of course, I can't do it with one hand. There it goes. All right. So this is your little piece that snaps in place in order to, what that does, that's gonna hold your, it's gonna hold the other piece up in there. So, you're gonna notice you got a little tab sticking out right here. That's what, that's kind of what, it kind of sort of locks this thing in place. Where this piece has a slot in it, that slot's gonna line up against that tab. So, give me 1 second here. I'm gonna set that thing in place and I'll show you what's going on with it. So you go ahead and line your axle up in there. Go. It's about impossible to see, but you have to put that piece up in there. You gotta press it up in place, and then we're just gonna snap this back into the axle again. That's gonna actually hold it onto the axle. That's all there is to this piece, and I think it's kind of silly, but it might work. So give me a second and we'll have it back together for you. Hey guys, my apologies on that last clip. I could not get that thing in place with one hand. It just wasn't happening. But you probably won't even be able to see it. Anyway, we got that one in there. Like I said, it goes up into there, and then you put your little clip back on there. I had Nick buy both sides. This one was actually a pain in the butt because it's got a spring on the axle on this side. You gotta pry the axle just a certain way and the thing drops right in. But finding that was a different story. But anyway, we got that. Now, here is our the guide and everything for the belt for the self-propel on this thing. This is a rear-wheel drive self-propelled mower. I decided to pull this when I was done with the axle, and I'm glad I did now because this thing is just gross. Right now, it's about, I don't know, somewhere in the 50s or something. This time of year, the temperature ranges from 70s to 40s in Kentucky. It's just nonstop, back and forth. So I'm gonna cut the camera for tonight, and I'll be back on this tomorrow, and we will clean this up, get this done, and go from there with it. All right, guys. So it's the next day, and we're ready to go for some more. I gotta bring this thing outside for a bath. But I just want to show you, I believe what's going on is the valve cover's leaking. But you want to notice all the grime up here. It's caked right in. You can see it, the head gasket, some of the fins are actually blocked right off. What's going on is the oil's leaking, and then the dirt's hitting it, and it's just giving it something to collect to. Also, we have barely anything for a coil gap here. We're going to have to go ahead and, once everything's cleaned up, we're going to have to re-gap that. But that's what's going on for right now. And I'm also going to spray the underside of the mower. But when that's done, we're going to get up on a stand and we're going to change out, well, I'm going to reseal this valve cover gasket and we'll go from there with it. All right, guys, so we got this whole setup all cleaned up and it's ready to go back together. This is, like I said, self-propelled. This is a 4-speed mower, meaning it's got 4 different drive speeds that you can go to and everything. they've done this same setup for years, but this is a new style of it. And I figured just in case anybody doesn't understand how one of these things work, I'll fill you in real quick. So you're gonna notice your pulley is actually a two-piece pulley. And that's the upper end. And this is the lower end, you know, which is it's splined right here where it's gonna slide in. It's got a bearing on this side. And that bearing fits into this piece here. Now what goes on, that goes in there like so, and you're gonna notice when I pull it, you see it raising up out of the other piece. That's how this whole deal works. What it does, what it's gonna do, it's gonna press this pulley while the engine's running, and the belt will actually move up to a different part of the pulley. So that basically what it's doing is changing the gear ratio right here. So that's really all there is to that setup. But like I said, in case anybody didn't know about that, and like I said, this is a totally different style than what I'm used to, but it was pretty easy to figure out. And you're gonna see the tab there, this little, the spring goes through that. And that's all there is to that. Another word of advice for anybody that ever takes something like this apart, before it goes back together, go up top, take your self-propel handle and clamp it down. That'll put some tension on this belt. That way any of your guides or anything, it won't catch on them or anything like that. If you don't do it, sometimes it will hit a guide, might go on the wrong way, then you get the mower running, hit self-propel, it'll blow the belt apart, and then you gotta do the job all over again. And yes, this is the voice of experience saying that, so that's why you want to do that. So give me a little bit here. I'm gonna zap all this back together, and then we'll go back up top and go from there with it. Hey guys, so I've been working away at this thing a little bit. My apologies, I haven't been taping this part of it simply because this mower is on the floor. I have to learn my limitations. I cannot pick this mower up by myself, and there was nobody here to help me pick it up, so and you know, I'm not gonna kill myself over it. But anyway, I got my valve cover all sealed up now. Went ahead and put a gap on a coil, took these bolts out, put some never sees on them and whatnot. So we're all cleaned up here. That Awesome, as I said, does beautiful work. This is an automatic choke mower, by the way. But anyway, the one last thing we got to do on this thing is we got to clean this carburetor. Now, I took the carburetor and gas tank off of this thing, for one, because I had to tip it up, and I knew it was going to be up for a while, and there's no sense in leaking gas anywhere, and also because I wanted to clean the engine real good and get all the grime out of there. So that's where we're at with it. But let's go over here on the bench. This carburetor is off and in my hand. Why not clean the jet real quick? So let's go do that real fast. That way I don't have to worry about it later on. You know, I hate to have to do this carburetor, you know, do this mower up and then have Nick come back next week, say, hey, the thing isn't running right, just because it could possibly be a piece of dirt in the carburetor or something like that. So we'll just run the we'll run it real quick and be done with it. So I wouldn't doubt there's a little bit of water in this thing. I had to actually spray this carburetor down. It was like everything else, it was full of oil. So, but, oh, that's not bad. Look at that. It's nice and clean in there. But we are gonna go ahead and clean this jet out real fast. So I had mentioned on several videos now, I hadn't done them in a while, it's my little paper clip. Now, what I do on this paper clip, I don't know if this thing's gonna focus or not, probably not. This paper clip is a bigger paper clip, right? So what I do, I just run this through the bench grinder and shave it down a little bit. So I got a nice rough surface here. And what that's gonna do, the wall of the jet, it's gonna actually clean that out. And This trick has worked for me for I don't know how many years now. I did this on a whim late one night because my torch tip cleaner was worn out and I had nothing else. So I did this, and I don't know how many carburetors I've done this way, but it works perfect. So all we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and run this thing through the end of the jet, like so. We're gonna twist her around a little bit. The rough surface of that is gonna clear out any little dirt that anybody might have missed or whatever. It's basically gonna clean it up like brand new. Then we'll go ahead and take a blast of carburetor cleaner. Like that. And we'll hit it with air. And that's the end of that problem. So, go ahead and wipe this down real quick. Get all the grime out of there. This was a running machine when it got here. I actually never did try and actually start it. You know, it was mainly here for the axle, but he did tell me to do the other things for it. So I just wanted to do this as a precaution. Go ahead and bolt that back together. We're good to go. We'll snug her up just a tad, like that. And that's pretty much all it's gonna take. This thing's gonna run beautiful. So give me a few more minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this thing back together, and then we're gonna see you out in the driveway, and we're gonna hear this thing run and make sure our self-propel's working and all that other good stuff. So we'll be right back. All right, guys. So here's our finished product. It's kind of hard to see in the sunlight and everything, and like I said, the year is really unknown on this mower. I don't think it's a 2008. But anybody that feel free, if you know something I don't, feel free to comment on this, because I personally don't think this engine was around in 2008. And like the self-propel deal there, the lever and all that, there's a lot of things here that weren't in 2008 that I'm aware of. But one thing that was kind of peculiar about this engine, it's still got a drain plug. So I'm at a total loss with this one, and I am very well versed at looking up lawnmower numbers. I have no problems with that. But anyway, it's up and running. It's running beautiful. I'll show you that real quick. And we're gonna have Nick come pick this thing up. And this mower is only used for edging and stuff. It's not a primary mower, but still, he wants it running good, obviously. So, go ahead and get that. I'm gonna say this one's good to go. Anyway, one thing I noticed, I'm on that YouTube studio. I had more people viewing my videos that are not subscribers than actual subscribers. So, if you see these videos, please go ahead and subscribe. Help us out a little bit. And I'm gonna keep pumping these things out. So, you know, and we'll just keep going with it. There's plenty more coming. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the content in here and everything, and I'm wishing you guys a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.